So we have a way of actually giving people pay rises. But of course we've got two fields inside our settings. We've got a percentage pay rise which will be allowed, but we've also got this thing about are pay rises actually allowed or not. Now currently they are, but what we haven't done, we haven't integrated this into our microflow. So let's do that. What we're going to do is we're going to create a microflow. We're going to sort of inside here, we're going to reuse the pay rise microflow. And what we're going to do is we're going to test for this. We're only going to be allowed to increase their pay rise if pay rises are currently allowed. So let's go into the app. Here's my pay rise microflow, and starts off, passes in the person, grabs the settings values, and then changes the pay if pay rises are going to be allowed. So what we need to do is we need to change this a little bit. So I'm just going to drag this over to here and move this over to here. What we need to do is we need to have a kind of condition. Let's have something that looks like a decision. Here we go. And here we're going to test to see if pay rises are allowed. Obviously, if pay rises are going to be allowed, we're going to travel along here. We're going to allow the pay rise. Otherwise, we want something else to happen down here. So let's, how should we handle this? Shall we pop up a little message maybe saying no pay rises currently? Something like show message. So we'll show a message, and then we'll have another end event over here. Let's do the wiring. That's going to connect to that. That's going to connect to that. So let's do our condition. Open it up. What's our expression going to be? Now, we can use the expression wizard, or we can just type it in if you can remember it. So basically, we've got a thing called settings. So I do $settings / pay rise allowed. And what we want to do is we want to be able to say, is that going to be a value of true or false? Okay, so if pay rises are allowed, so let's say true, is that true? In which case, what we want to do is we want to basically set that to be true and set that to be false. So in other words, is this true? Now, in fact, we could have just gone settings pay rise allowed, because it is actually a value of true or false. But let's leave it like that, just in case you're a little bit weak on the knowledge about true and false and logic and all that kind of stuff. Is this true? Is it true that pay rises are allowed? If it's true that pay rises are allowed, we're going to travel along here. Otherwise, we're going to flow down here, and we're going to do this thing. So let's tap on the little message, and we can say something like, pay rises are not currently allowed. There's all sorts of other things we could do here, but that'll be fine. There we go. Okay, let's save it. Let's reconstruct the app, and let's see what happens. Open the app up. Now, currently in my settings, pay rises are allowed. So let's go into someone and let's give them a pay rise. Yep, that's working. Okay. Now let's go into the settings and let's say, oh no, pay rises are currently blocked. So click save. Let's go back into March. Let's try and do a pay rise. Pay rises are not currently allowed. And it doesn't allow the pay rise to go through. Back into the settings, let's allow pay rises. Yes, pay rises are allowed. So that's quite a neat way of using our settings inside our EMP department app.